Welcome to my first ever Minecraft mod showcase, and the mod that I'm going to be showcasing is called ProtoManly's Weather. Now, for those who were on YouTube back in like 2012, 2013, you may remember the original tornado mod and the localized weather mod. That was obviously now updated to 1.20.1 and beyond. However, with most of the features in that mod still not being ported over to, or like, God damn it, like the future versions, someone else has finally decided to take the mantle of creating their own weather mod. Now, I will link the mod description below. For this mod has a radar, WSR88D core, which this does nothing. I haven't tried this yet, so I have no clue if it does anything. This works. This works. I'm not sure if this works. I haven't crafted it yet, and I haven't tried to craft this either. However, first we're going to go over the blocks. The weather radar, similar to what you have from the original weather mod by Coro Util. If I just spawn, like, let's say this, you'll see here that it'll actually show up on the map. Now, I will say I don't know if I like it like this. I do think it's pretty cool, which, by the way, you would change the resolution of this map here is you go into mods, ProtoManly's weather, config, client settings, go into here, you can see radar resolution, have it on to 1, it'll just be like this. And if you bring it up to 100, it'll look like this, although it will be very laggy as I'm getting 60 FPS from this. So just for the sake of the video, I'm going to put it at 50, which is what the mod defaults at. Now, as you can see, the clouds are much higher quality compared to the original weather mod, and even has just a bunch of different structures. Like, let's see, if I do clear all, that will kill that. If I teleport, I believe, not 1,000 blocks up, like, let's see, 400 blocks up. Wow, how tall are these clouds? I never got to really experiment with it. Okay, this seems to be roughly where, oh my god. Okay, if I summoned a supercell, do 299. Oh, I see. Let's just go roughly 1,000 blocks away. Wow, I actually have not seen this from far up. But that itself is the actual supercell, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. Obviously, I'm pretty high, but if I go down below the clouds, and of course, go back to where everything is, bunch of new sounds like for thunder. Of course, the rain. Oh, I can't keep taking screenshots. Rain is sideways, and even the mesocyclone itself is actually rotating. Now, of course, the radar does work in the alpha version. This is a lower tier supercell, so let me just clear that. Of course, probably wondering, but Phoenix, where are the tornadoes? Tornadoes there are. Of course, tornadoes, well, kind of like the weather or the original weather mod, which is what I'm gonna call Coro Util's version, just to keep it simple. It does have the 6 total ratings of a tornado, EF0 to EF5, or in the game F0 to F5. However, with ProtoManly's version of a weather mod, it is much more detailed. If I do block strength, let's do just like, let's say an acacia door. Strength damage at 102 miles per hour. Every block, modded or not, will have its own like damage that, or like mile per hour rating threshold that it can be damaged at. So if I try and summon a tornado, we'll just do 70 miles per hour, make it roughly 50 blocks wide. Only just to, like, you know, go. But look at the mini map here. It will do damage. And if I look at that is absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever seen weather in Minecraft look so good in my life before. And then there's just this. Unfortunately, there's no physical lightning, and shaders do not work with this mod, which is very tragic. I think it would look very nice. But of course, you can't have everything. But if I were to do, that was at 100 miles per hour or 70 miles per hour, you can see that it picked up some mushroom. Let's see if I can get the threshold for blocks. Okay. These get damage at 70 miles per hour. The logs themselves actually don't get damage until 94. That's why these are left. Leaves in general damage at 55. We move up to, let's say, roughly EF1 strength at 100 blocks wide. I can actually get out of here. Obviously, this path is much bigger. But now, sucking leaves and logs away this time. Go on the minimap instead, it'll be a lot easier. Well, it's actually damaging stuff and starting to rip away topsoil from the ground. Quartz glass will also be picked up. Point. Move to... Look at that. I do like some blocks, it will actually place them back down. It is very specific circumstances for that, I'm pretty sure. Of course, move on to this is high-end EF3. Let's do up to 50. Now, I believe around EF3, you should start seeing some ground scouring. Not... Yeah, there you go, right there. Now, with the ground scouring, it's when the winds are just so high where it starts picking up dirt off the ground and leaving a visible scar on the planet. Correct me if I'm wrong. But obviously at this point, it's picking up everything from logs, mushroom around. No, it picks up sand on the door. There goes just a couple examples of blocks being up, down. They're all. And we're just gonna move straight to EF5 intensity, which is obviously very loud. Now, going to the minimap, which unfortunately it would be a lot easier if you could see it like far away, or you know, not just like it's just easier to see on the minimap here compared to, you know, this. Just for video purposes, I have the tick speed down to 0 so that the grass cannot regrow. And right there is a better example of ground scouring. This is not the lowest level. If you, I don't believe so. If you do something extremely stupid, like let's do like, my game is about to lag. Surprisingly, it's actually stable. But as you can see, That is the highest level of ground scouring. Now, in comparison to the original weather mod, obviously ground scouring exists, and it actually will take blocks that are outside of the funnel itself, unlike the weather mod by ProtoManly's, which the funnel would pretty much have to directly impact your structure. Now, because this mod is in alpha, there's going to be issues. For starters, this mod is extremely demanding, at least for a Minecraft mod, as the minimum requirements on the mod page for like graphics card wise is a GTX 1660, or let me look at the mod page real quick before I get myself wrong, as I really don't feel like doing that. The recommended AMD graphics card is, or not recommended, the minimum is 1660 Super or an RX 590. Not tested, but is stated that it should work. The recommended graphics cards, an RTX 3060 and an RX 6600 XT. iGPUs and APUs are not supported officially, but apparently do work. I'm not going to be testing that on my APU, as I feel like that would absolutely destroy my processor. Now, before I get on to complaints and suggestions, this mod is great, especially for an alpha build of a mod. Although some other things, like I wish the cloud rendering was a little better. If I were to, like, let's say leaf block, if I do this, the clouds are kind of bleeding into the edges. Wish like stuff like that was a little refined. I do wish that the scoured or the scored dirt. Wait. I was doing research on this mod. Look, you can't technically. Okay, you can pick block it, but if you try to grab it in survival, it will just turn into regular dirt. Now, I'm not sure if it will be picked up if you use Silk Touch. No, it does not. Yeah. One thing I do recommend adding is different variants of scored, doesn't matter to me, into, or like to be able to be obtained in survival mode. Is you could honestly, like, at least add coarse variants of it, because you could do so many cool things with this dirt, in my opinion, with like gradients, that I feel like it just has to be mentioned. Oh, and please make an attempt to optimize the mod a little bit. Now, I will understand, coming from someone who used to develop games and 3D model, it is not the easiest thing, especially with a bunch of particles. And also when you're trying to, give me 1 second. Okay. Just do... Yeah. As you can see, it's very, laggy. I teleport roughly 2,000 blocks away because of how... Oh god. There we go. Of course, I'm not sure if tornadoes like this are actually, possible. Oh no. I'm not sure if tornadoes like this are actually possible in the base game. I'm assuming not, but right now, which I will say though, performance, as long as as long as there is no damage being done, honestly, it runs great. But I do wish that there would be some way. Also, I'm playing on a single player server, Diamond server world. How did I lag? I am very confused. Of course. Oh, I also highly recommend not making tornadoes as rare. And if they do, like, form, not die almost instantly, that is a huge issue that I've had with the mod so far. But other than that, I have actually severely enjoyed playing with this on a survival world that I have with my friends, and in general just screwing around with the mod. If I may just show extra world that I have, and if this will ever save, because the fact that I just summoned a 1,000 block wide tornado, which, yes, as long as everything is picked up, it will run fine. But there is an issue with bigger tornado sizes where it will kind of pick up the blocks, but it will just like immediately fall to the ground. I think my Minecraft is not wanting to save this, so I'm going to cut this review a little short. But I see a bunch of potential in this mod, and I hope that the developer does not stop doing it. If you guys have any mods that you want to see, just comment it, and I will do my best to cover it. Because that's it. I will see you guys next time.